They've hired him apparently.
Okay.
Armando, I'm curious your thoughts on like, the half-court offense. It seems just to me like you guys just have a lot of solutions this season that maybe last year in the past that you didn't have. How do you feel about the way that's working out?
Yeah, I mean, it's been great just this year having so many different guys that can score. I mean, obviously we see RJ and having a player on your team like that can shoot the ball and just score in so many different ways. I mean, it's completely opened up our offense, and then we got plays obviously for Cormac too, and just his ability to shoot, and then Total and Harrison too. Just being able to just score in so many different ways. I mean, it's just been amazing because it's not like in past years where teams try to take me away, we kind of just fall flat and don't have offenses. I mean, RJ can obviously do all the things he can do, and then we got Harrison and Cormac, so it's been great.
Armando, going up against PJ Hall from Clemson, you've obviously played against him a number of times here in the ACC. What is the biggest takeaway you've had from the matchups with him, like the things he does well?
Yeah, no, I mean, he's been great. I think in his 4 years, he's always kind of fell under the radar, but I mean, I think everything he's been doing is great, and I think this year people are finally starting to notice like how good he really is, and I mean, playing like him is always tough guarding because he can shoot the ball so well, and we ice ball screen, so it'll be a longer closeout for me, and it'll put me in situations I'm not usually in, but I mean, I think it'll definitely be a fun matchup, and I mean, everything he's been doing is great, and I'm just happy for him.
See, he seems better this year. Have you noticed that as you've studied him a little bit?
Yeah, but I mean, I think honestly, like he's been this good since he's been there. I mean, just like with his skill set and all the things he can do, he's a really good scorer, and I think this year too, he's been doing a lot better defensively too. So I mean, I think he's good.
What made the difference between how you guys handled the physicality against Kentucky to how you handled it against Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I mean, I think we really just controlled the boards. I think that was a huge thing. I mean, you look at the Kentucky game, they got maybe like 17 or some offensive rebounds, and I think last game we won a rebound battle by 10, and I think that's been like a huge difference in all of our losses is just not controlling the boards, and that's something that typical UNC team you would see is us being able to out-rebound the team. That's the one thing that we always do. But I think this year just with us not being as big of a team usually and as athletic, rebounding has been something we haven't been as good as we want to be. But I think our rebounding Pittsburgh was the number one team in the ACC in rebounding was definitely huge for us, and it kind of gave us something to build on.
Do you feel like you personally handled the physicality better against Pittsburgh than in earlier games?
I wouldn't say that physicality really affected me as much. I mean, every time we played Pittsburgh, I feel like I played good to do good. I think the last time we played them, I didn't play as great as I usually do, so they kind of went on with that. But the physicality, I would say for me personally, versus Pittsburgh doesn't affect me. But I think as a team, throughout the years, and you see us go down 5 of the last 6 versus them, it's been tough playing against them because they are a physical team. They got gritty guards, and just the way they play, I think, is definitely tough for anybody to play against. But for us to kind of be the more physical team, it definitely was huge for us.
I was going to ask about how encouraging it was going into a game like this because they are physical. Shefflin's a guy that just really, really battles down low, and DJ and the rest of those guys. Is that maybe the key going into this game, that they love to keep teams off the offensive glass? So if you guys have success on the offensive glass, that could be a key for you? 100%.
If we go in there and can control the boards, I think that would be the huge part. I think that's what a game would be won, really, whatever team wins the board about.
Armando, have you thought about your last trip to Little John a couple years ago? I believe you fouled out late and Brady hit the buzzer beater layup. Have you looked back at highlights of that game at all?
Nah, I didn't even think about that, but that was a crazy game. That was kind of along the lines, I think it was that little wild time where I was like, I guess people saying I was tricking people or whatnot, so they were kind of trying to target me that whole game, and I can't remember the guy. It was the guy that like pushed, was it Wendell? What was the guy from Clemson that had like pushed him when he was like landing or something like that?
Who?
You remember when there was like hanging on the rim, and then the dude that came under him and he had fell?
Yeah,
it was that guy. He had kind of got me like 2 fouls and got me fouled out. So he did a good job of doing that. But
Is he the one that hit Wendell?
Yep,
Yeah.
It was that guy. So he had fouled me out or whatnot that game.
He's not there.
So luckily he's not there anymore. But
Who was it? Do you remember, AJ?
he was like this small forward, I think. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, I can see him.
Yeah.
But I mean, their coach at Clemson, he's a great coach, and he kind of knows how to take guys out of games and do things like that. So that's something that we definitely got to like be looking at.
David Collins was the guy's name.
David Collins, yeah.
Armando, going back to rebounding a little bit, how much, I guess, vocally do you kind of contribute to that challenge to, be more active on the boards? I know you mentioned, obviously, the team's doesn't have as much height as it probably had in years past, but how much do you contribute?
Yeah, I mean, I try to talk to Harry and Cormac and all those other guys and tell them, like, the rebound's there. I feel like sometimes I'm down there and got, like, 3 or 4 guys on me, so I'm like, other guys can crash, you can get you some easy boards, and that'll open it up for me, too, to kind of get some more one-on-one, two-on-two matchups, two-on-one matchups, kind of trying to get those offensive boards.
Hubert said y'all quote unquote ruined it against Pitt because y'all did crash the glass and you led in rebounding. Is that validating for all of the stuff that y'all have done in practice?
For sure, because that's something that Coach Davis has been pushing on us since day one, and I mean, every year at UNC, the coach is that's one of the main things they're gonna push is rebounding. And Coach Davis, he's been trying to get us to emphasize that even more. And like I said, to do it versus the #1 rebounding team in the ACC, it showed that it can be done, and it's something that Coach Davis would definitely be expecting more out of us.
Was there
Was
anything
Hubert mad
punitive in
about it?
practice when you guys weren't rebounding?
Excuse me?
Was there anything punitive in practice when you weren't rebounding well?
Definitely, it was just different punishments like running or going and sitting on the sideline or getting kicked out of practice, something like that. He's been serious about us rebounding, so because it's been something we haven't. That's probably the one thing we've been lacking the most. So it was definitely encouraging for us.
Who did kick
Did
out?
you get kicked out?
No, I didn't get kicked out, but it was a couple guys.
You can say the names.
A couple guys got told them to go sit on the side.
That's such a coaching move, isn't it? Get out.
It's usually James and Zayden's fault though for us getting in trouble. Those guys are really good on the offensive board, especially James. He does a great job of pushing me every day.
Oh, I got you. Making you guys look bad.
Yeah, making us look better. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have an on-court nickname for Seth?
No, but I mean, we give Seth a hard time all the time, so I'm just glad that he's doing great. We always pick on him, and because he's one of those smiler guys, always singing, dancing, doing those type of things. But I mean, you see him on the court, he's one of the most physical players we've got, so it's just great that he's finally starting to show all the things he's been working on.
It's like a B12 shot for you guys.
That's,
Because it's just
that is.
instant impact.
So I'm saying instant impact, the way he can defend the ball full court, he can grab rebounds, he can kind of do it all. Just having a glue guy like that has been amazing.
Do you think you need to come up with a nickname for him?
Definitely. I like the B12, that's a good one. I might take that.
Somebody actually said the other day that it would syringe, but they think there'd be a negative connotation. Because after he hit a 3 the other day, he did the
Oh, I
syringe.
saw that,
I
yeah.
didn't. You should roll
That was
with the
alarming
B12.
too. I didn't know where that celebration came from.
Armando, what added dimension do you think Joseph Girard gives to Clemson? Obviously, you've seen him a lot at Syracuse, but what added dimension do you think brings to Clemson?
Really experience. He's played in a ton of big games, and he's been a huge performer in a lot of big games too. So just adding a guy like that who's also familiar with the ACC and how we play, I think that was huge for Clemson. And I mean, going down there roster in the preseason, I knew they'd be a great team. I think a lot of people kind of didn't, rip them off, I guess, a little bit because they lost a lot of players from last year. But I knew adding Gerard and I knew bringing back Hunter, he would be a huge player. And then obviously Shefflin and how he's kind of been maturing and getting momentum. I knew they'd be a great team, so nothing is surprising at all.
You kind of expected them to probably be a top 25 team at this point?
For sure. I knew they would be definitely like a top 3 or 5 team in the ACC.
Do you feel like
a couple more, please? Go for it. Go for
Do
it.
you feel like you guys are handling just length and athleticism better? It seemed like that was maybe kind of an issue against UConn and Kentucky, whereas Pittsburgh, they roll out twins and Federico, and Clemson kind of presents those same challenges in terms of that.
Definitely, I think those games kind of gave us what not to do and kind of how to control that. But I mean, also too, we talking about UConn and Kentucky. Those are 2 great teams. So I mean, it's tough going against them in kind of no situations. But I mean, I definitely thought those games were great building blocks for ACC play, but definitely the tournament too.
Armando, you got the game ball the other night at Pitt. Like, it seemed like you're purposely downplaying the 2,000 points. Like,
Well, Coach took the game though, so I didn't get it.
well, didn't Hubert throw it over too?
I know, and then Coach took it right out of my hands.
That's a turnover.
Who sets up the museum, you or me?
Oh, Kirsch is back there.
Yeah.
We got lots going on over here, man. Well, I mean, why were you doing that? Why? It has to mean a ton. There's only 7 guys that have done it.
It was big for me, but I said like stats I'll kind of keep an asterisk on just because It's my 5th year, so I won't put too much into it. I won't get too excited.
On that subject, what's the individual record or milestone that years down the road you think will mean the most to you? That's a good question.
I would probably say the rebounding one, because I feel like that's something that Carolina as a school is built on, and even from my first day being here, just Coach Rob and Coach Williams always talking to me about rebounding and that being so pivotal. So definitely that, and I think it's something that probably won't be broken. So definitely that.
Last year, y'all had the Oreo story going on. Just curious this year, is there a snack or like a song that keeps the guys motivated in Walker?
No. I don't think this team, we don't really need to pull anything from a food, a song, or anything like that to kind of get us going. I think this team, we just all motivated, wanting to win. We all coming from situations that we didn't like, so we just kind of feeling the success now, but we want to just keep going.
Talking about the situations you don't like, Jalen comes from that Louisville team that only had 4 wins. Do you think he's kind of finding his step here as a lady? It seems like he kind of offers something athleticism-wise that maybe you guys don't have in that starting lineup.
For sure, I agree. I mean, you look at the floater I missed, and for him to just come in and just jam it with the left hand, and it's like little things that he do like that like nobody can really do. So having a guy like that is definitely huge, and I think just for us to get to where we want to be to and fully reach our full potential, we even need more out of Jalen. I think he's finally starting to settle in, but I think it's still 2 or 3 other steps that we can get from Jalen. I think you look back at the end of the season, and it'll be one of those players like, wow, like it was so much more we're going to get out of him, and I think you'll see it as the season goes on.
One more.
Okay, you might not need a snack as motivation, but is there like a team snack that you'll like the most?
I'll say we like Canes. That's something we Coach Davis, he like Canes, so it's probably Canes.
Smart with that NIL.
I mean, but actually probably Canes though.
Never the pitch man.
Thank you, Mondo.
No problem.